steak pizzaiola. Steak pizzaiola. Making steak pizzaiola. Let's start out real nice. All mixing together.
Manja, manja, bon appetit, let's eat. It's time for Tanks Cooks. Manja, manja, bon appetit, let's eat. It's time for Tanks Cooks. It's time.
Manja, manja indeed. Yes, that's right. Today, we are making steak pizzaiola. Steak pizzaiola, la da 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 da. Making steak pizzaiola, la 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 la. This recipe was sent to me by Glynn. Glynn sent this recipe to me. And we're going to start off with some thin sliced boneless ribeye steaks. Thin sliced boneless ribeye steaks. We're going to put a little bit of this meat rub on it, just to zest them up a little bit before we put them into our frying pan. La la la, rub it in. Rub it in. Really thin steaks. Steak pizzaiola. We're making steak pizzaiola. Or maybe it's steak pizzaiola. What do you like better? But we have to get some peeled tomatoes and chop those babies up. Steak pizzaiola. Oh, it's already chopped up for me. I don't have to cut it up. I thought these were in the can, huh? Here we go. Oops, there we go. Steak pizzaiola. Steak pizzaiola. So let's cut these tomatoes up. We'll pour the XX sauce into the pan too. Steak pizzaiola. Steak pizzaiola. All right. Gotta chop these babies up. So let's chop these babies up. Chop, chop, chop. Chop the potato. Chop the tomatoes. Chop them up real fine. Here we go. And get that ready. Simple. We're going to heat up some oil over here. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil to heat up our steaks. Alright, let's fry these steaks up. We're just going to brown them. We'll put a little accent, of course, on it. Alright, now let's flip this steak. Turn the meat around. Turn the meat around. Cook on other side now. Turn the meat around. Make sure it's really nice and brown on all sides. Flip them again. Alright, let's take the steaks off the heat and put them to the side for now. These are ribeye steaks, boneless ribeye steaks. Now we're going to put in some garlic into the heat. This chopped garlic. I'm going to brown up this garlic. Here we go, browning up this garlic. Only going to take about a minute or two before we're ready for the next step. All right, now here's those tomatoes we cut up before. them in. Steak Pizzaiola. Get the remnants of the can in there as well. Stir it in real nice. Chop these tomatoes a little bit more. Stir and chop, you know. We put our little wooden spoon in here. As much out of here as we can. Get as much out of the can as we can. All right. Now we'll add in some spices like oregano. A lot of oregano in here. A little bit of parsley. Of course, accent. I mean, come on. Kidding me? Lemon pepper. Lemon pepper. Also some lemon pepper. A little bit more garlic in here. Get some traditional pepper. Also get in some of this kind of this flat iron hot pepper too. A little hot pepper in there. Just for help. Alright. Alright. We'll have to stir this occasionally and we'll reduce down to a simmer. Just so it cooks everything up for about 20 minutes. We'll be almost ready to serve this up. As a little bonus, I'm going to make a little bit of homemade garlic bread. Garlic bread. Homemade garlic bread. Get some garlic bread. Make some garlic bread. Yep. Got some of this stuff for the garlic bread. Alright. Yep, get some homemade garlic bread in here. Cook this up for about 15 minutes. Just so it melts in. Use this, of course, I'm using this nice little garlic butter for garlic bread. Yep, here we go. Butter the bread for garlic bread. Garlic bread. And that's how we make our garlic bread. Of course, heat this up for 15 minutes. Ding. Alright. Time to get the steak back into the pan here for the steak Pizzaiola. La la la, steak Pizzaiola. That's the Nassanola. We'll coat this steak up into the tomatoes. Here let's see, we have to coat these steaks up quite nice. Flip it around into the tomato concoction. Yep, there it is. Throw some of these tomatoes on. We're also going to get on some Parmesan, or as I like, Pecorino Romano. Yes, indeed, we'll put a healthy amount of Parmesan on top of the steak Pizzaiola. It's just about time to plate the meal. Here's our steak Pizzaiola. There it does. I think it looks pretty good, I guess. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Got a nice little garlic bread right here. Of course, you know how that came out. Quite nice. Alright. Grab out one of these steaks. Toss it on the plate because it's time to plate the meal. Time right, let's see how this steak pizzaiola tastes. Very tender steak. You can feel the steak is high quality. Of course, I got it at Stu Leonard's. Not bad at all. Different taste. And of course, once again, I'd like to thank Glynn, for sending me this recipe. And if you want to have me cook one of your recipes, njtank99@gmail.com. And manja, bon appetit. Let's eat.